But what we are going to talk about today, since it's out here in the universe, is all of the Karens. There are so many women who happen to be white. I'm not going to say white women. Going to be women who happen to be white. Seem to engage people of color in acts that are mostly about people of color trying to just live or support black causes. I do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Another episode of After I Do the podcast. Mouth moving just a little bit too. Whoa, we're not going to do that. But go ahead. Is that a new talent that you have singing?
You know, I sing all the time. It's
but
all
is it good singing?
Nope.
Okay, good. I'm glad I just want to hear it one more time just so I can make sure.
Podcast.
Okay, absolutely not what we're not going to do. But what we are going to talk about today, since it's out here in the universe, is all of the Karens. There are so many women who happen to be white. I'm not going to say white women. Going to be women who happen to be white. Seem to engage people of color in acts that are mostly about people of color trying to just live or support black causes. The last one that I saw was a gentleman who happened to be a person of color who was stenciling the Black Lives Matter words onto his home, his front. And this Karen who was out with her husband, I think he was a Kevin, or whatever his name was. But the Karen was engaging this man and challenging him, and even went so far as to lie and suggest that she knew the owners of the property. So she was challenging this gentleman that he was wrong to be stenciling Black Lives Matter on this property, which was his home.
But she know the owner.
But she knows the owner. And then walked away and started dialing her phone as if she was going to call the police. And we now have who is it? Somebody, is it the
Cuomo?
No, there's, I think it was Cuomo, but there's new legislature and may even be a law at this point where if you call the police for a non-police emergency on someone, I believe, of color, then you could be charged with a crime.
Yep.
I don't think it's been escalated to a hate crime, but I think you could be charged for that. And so the universe is now trying to, I think the word is quell, these engagements where white women who are now being labeled as Karens feel compelled to use 911 as a as the word, I had the word and I just lost it, but as a weapon, weaponizing the use of 911. That's it. And so the sad part is, like, it's sad when you can think of multiple instances of Karens doing this. The first one was the one, I think, in the Bay Area with the Karen and the shades on. And then it just continued to escalate to the point where it's like, I have to ask myself the question, right? Are these women not aware of the repercussions of their actions? Because so many of them are losing their jobs, losing favor in their community, and but they still, for whatever reason, feel compelled to still dial 911 and have the police come out because they're so but
superior.
They've been supported in this action for so long that they feel good doing it. Yeah. There was another one with a young white girl was out on the corner protesting. So she was like, her and her mom was the lone protesters on the corner, and another Karen came out to physically confront them, right? And so that's the other dynamic where you go, look, you're not even confronting a person of color. You're confronting someone who looks like you, but because they're supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, right? You feel the need to hostilely engage them, whether it's rip up the sign or challenge them for being in support of Black Lives Matter, right? What is the psychosis of the
I don't
person.
know. I just feel like they are losing it because they feel like they're going to lose all this privilege. And it scares them. In my opinion, they see this thing dwindling away, like these, some white women up on the pedestal, and nothing can be done to us. And I have the say so, and I can get you arrested. But they, like you said, they don't understand by calling the cops what could possibly happen to that person. And if this person really hasn't harmed you, touched you, called you out of your name, what gives you the right to call the cops to chastise or reprimand someone for marching, painting on their own stoop, exercising in the park? Now, this woman was Asian. All the steps this woman could have used, she chose those steps and cussed her out and go back to your country.
Wait, in that scenario, not the Karen was Asian. The victim was Asian.
The victim was Asian.
Okay.
That just happened a couple of days ago, and they arrested her.
They arrested the Karen.
The Karen.
Oh, Karens are going to jail.
Yeah, they're getting in trouble. Like that's what's going to have to happen, because if you find out someone's verbally abusing someone and threatening them, then...
Well, there was another one who spit on a young man at a protest.
Oh, yeah. There's so many. There's one that happened in California a couple of days ago. She went out with a hammer and she's literally banging on the car and, just talking. I couldn't understand because she was older, but it was hatred. And then she went back in the house. I think then she came back out with a water hose and got the wrong auntie. Was not trying to play that.
That's where a mental health issue mixed with that energy becomes problematic, because that lady clearly had something wrong with her. But
we can't give her a pass because it's still hate.
Listen, I'm not giving anybody a pass.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, right, the reality is that when your hate and bigotry, right, starts to cloud your judgment to the point where you're now taking a hammer and walking outside and banging up somebody's car, and then getting in a neighbor's face or yard to the point where now you're getting dragged across the yard or whatever.
But we can assume it's mental, but we really don't know. Maybe the mental illness is racism, like some
but
people
this is
said.
my point. It's like, don't you think racism is a mental health issue?
It might be. I'm no professional, but I would say.
But I am a professional.
Whatever. Maybe it is. There's so many instances. The Native American, I believe, in the gas station, and that other Karen coming in minding her, all in their business. I mean, she smacked her so hard, like, don't touch me. First of all, somebody has a t-shirt that says, I wish a Karen would. And every time I see an episode, I just, like, my heart starts beating fast, because I put myself in place of the person that the Karen is talking to, and I immediately black out, because I don't know what I would do in that moment, because watching it is one thing, saying, boy, I would oh God, if she touched me, until it happens to you, you really don't know. But I know for certain it's not going to be good.
I think it's so easy for us, and I think
it's not
so
gonna be good.
Many people do this. They put themselves in that person's situation, right? Because we identify with the victim. But I actually think it's unhealthy to do that. I think again, that's a part of the thing where we scroll through Instagram and these Facebook and these different feeds, and we see so much of this stuff so quickly. Right? All these different instances of police violence, and it's so quick. You scroll through, you can see, and it doesn't stop. And so, right, there's got to be an impact on our collective psychosis when all of us are taken in, like if you think about between the death of George Floyd. No, let's go back to Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud was before George Floyd, right?
Can't breathe.
Between how long? I wish I knew the exact date of that, so I can go, oh, this was a month and a half or 2 months ago, right? But let's just go back 30 days between the last 30 days and now. How many police incidents and deaths there's been? I'm not even going back to like Philando Castro, who was shot in a car and killed in front of his girlfriend and her daughter, right? I'm not even going back to Eric Garner when he was choked to death, right, in Staten Island, Long Island, wherever that was in New York. But I'm just saying, over the last 30 days, right, between the suicide or the
parent,
the death of this other young man who was found in a tree hanging, and them labeling it as a suicide.
Right.
And again, the gentleman that was just shot and killed in Atlanta. Another Latino young man who was shot and killed by police. I can't remember his name, but it's like every other damn day it's a new death by police, right? And so you can't help but be impacted emotionally and psychologically because, right, we're out protesting the thing that you would think police would be like, yo, chill, lay low. It's like, no.
Yeah, they're not laying low.
They're not.
They're still chokeholding and doing. That's why, back to my point, every time I see one of them, I don't know how I don't even want to say it will happen to me. It's just that I get so psychologically wrapped up into it, and I do put myself in that place, and I don't know. There's never been any training for that. Like, hey, if this happens and a Karen comes up to you, diffuse it this way. I think because of everything, I believe a Karen is really going to get hurt. That's why the auntie yesterday with the elderly woman, I could feel her hurt and her frustration and the anger in her words.
Enough is enough.
And that's what I'm afraid of. That a Karen is going to come up against the wrong person, and when I tell you, it's not going to be good for Karen. And Karens need to mind their business. You don't own the world. You don't own sidewalks. You don't own the front of my property. I can park where I want to park. Like, they really think they have a whole lot of ownership to shit that they really don't. Don't skateboard here. Don't jog here. Basically, you're telling me to get off the earth at this point. So it's becoming really...
Andy Cooper with the bird watcher in New York.
Yeah, it's just too much. They got to watch themselves. Like, but I'm just saying it's getting bad. It's really bad. And like you said, it's day after. And the thing is, they're seeing everyone label every other white woman Karen, and they go and do the very same thing and really not care. How about the lady, I think it was New York, at the Starbucks, go and cough on somebody.
Well, here's the thing. So she went into the coffee shop or deli, whatever store she went into without a mask. And the policy is, in these stores, you're supposed to be wearing a mask. Right. I know I accidentally went into Ralph's the other day, and it's easy to forget. You get comfortable and you forget, but immediately there's an awareness that, oh, okay, wait a minute, something is different. Let me get out of here. Let me go correct the behavior, right? Even without somebody saying something to me, I was aware and I went and corrected it. She is completely being aggressive towards people who just have their own safety and well-being in mind, right? But these people who are of privilege, and some of them, there's another young lady this young lady was Hispanic. She worked at Party City in Secaucus, New Jersey. And she went on as like, screw these Black Lives Matter people, this and that. Wow. Just everything was anti Black Lives Matter and black people.
Right.
The thing that's amazing in 2020 is when they say internet do your thing, my God, they can find people. Again, what was the movie that we watched? Oh, Don't F with Cats.
Oh my God. After that, I ain't doing nothing.
Listen, when the internet wants to find you, they will find you. It's like the guy that was riding the bike in Montgomery County.
Yes.
Who, aggressive white male, older white
to
male.
Another white couple.
Was riding the bike. They were out, Black Lives Matter, supporting, putting up signs or whatever. This guy got off his bike. Two little girls went and snatched their signs, ripped up the signs, took his bike, rammed it into whoever the dad was.
It was a dad. And go ahead.
And, you go, okay, this makes no sense, first of all. But they're like, this guy committed assault. This is a crime. He assaulted these two little girls and whoever the adult was with his bike. And I looked at the video and I just went, okay, how are they going to find this dude? Yo, let me tell you something. These folks was like, okay, he's on this. They could tell it's this bike path. And some kind of way they figured out that the guy, they looked at his bike and how expensive the bike was and his helmet and his equipment. They said he's an avid bike rider. So they said, let's see who uses which apps that come through this park. And within 24 hours, there's like, yep, here's the person, here's the app he uses, here's the trail, and here's the time he was on the damn trail. And it's him. Got you. The girl that worked at Party City, and he got arrested. The girl that worked at Party City that was running her mouth, there's like, oh, like literally within 24 hours. That so-and-so, she works at the Party City in Secaucus, New Jersey. And guess what Party City said?
Bye.
Bye. Fired. You know why? Because these corporations understand this cancel culture will affect your bottom line. And these others who identify with, with these conservative MAGA people, right? Because they think that, by me siding with them, I'm going to benefit in some way.
You're not.
You're not. They're not going to see you. Sadly, I saw some idiot earlier today, a black guy holding up a Confederate flag saying, I don't know what happened before this, that, and the other, but these are my people and we came up. It's like, you're an idiot. You can't not pay attention to what the flag represents, right? That is the Confederate army. They lost. They tried to fight against the Union. The people who were out here supporting, the people who are supporting slavery and wanted to keep your family enslaved, lost the Civil War, right? Right. We're taking these statues down for a reason, right? And the new thing is we got to take down these statues of people who were slave owners and who supported slavery. We got to have people understand Christopher Columbus, right? They teach you in school that,
had to sing
1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He sailed and sailed and sailed and sailed to find this land for me and you. Really? That's what you're teaching these kids in elementary school? That Christopher Columbus, a murderer, rapist, and a person who came here, discovered something that a land where people already were? Right? We're just getting to the point where people have to go, wait, there's something wrong about this. Right? Christopher Columbus was not a hero. So whether it's Robert E. Lee, who was the general that was over top of the Confederate army, right? Let's go take his statue down. He lost. So Fort Hood, Fort Benning, you have all of these army bases that are supposed to be representations of what the best version of our fighting forces are, still named after Confederate generals and people that were going against the Union, against the United States and what it represented at the time.
It's so foul.
So it's interesting because, again, I think now we're in a space where there's enough information out there where as an adult, you have to consciously make a decision about what side of history you want to be on, right? People aren't saying this, but I genuinely believe that we are now in the second phase of the civil rights movement. This is civil rights 2.0. And the only thing that bothers me is that black people and who support the black cause of trying to achieve real equality in this country don't have the communication platforms that we need to be as organized as we need to be able to sustain the long-term ability of what this movement should be, so that people really come to the table to hear what the change needs to be. Because what will happen is you'll have one or two police officers. This is what's generally happened in the past. The white police officer breaks the law, kills somebody, right, and gets protected by police unions, this, that, and the other. And every once in a while, the police unions, the universe will go, all right, we'll throw black people a bone and we'll arrest this guy. And maybe he'll do some time. He'll get off for good behavior. And now they just want to how do we calm things down? But we're in a space right now where we have the opportunity. But legislature doesn't change. That's the thing. It's like you don't change the laws on the books that holds more police officers accountable. You don't have the kind of systematic change that sees police unions losing, right, the kind of power that they yield over the system as a whole. And then people go, well, you need to vote, you need to vote, you need to vote. And people aren't as educated as to know what that really means, to know that your mayor and your governor and the people, these local officials, your DAs, prosecutors, these people are the ones who you really have to put apply the pressure to, right, to change those kind of elements that I just mentioned.
I feel like you're so right, and I think people are afraid we're going to slip back into the norm, and that's why I think people are breaking it down, because even Michelle put on her page, vote, vote, vote. What does that mean? There's a 9-page slide. You got to vote for the sheriff because the sheriff does this. You got to vote for the mayor because the mayor does this. Because when we go out for these primary votes and those people aren't on there, the superintendent, the sheriff, the judges, the whatever, I'm also guilty of not doing the research on each person's platform. So everybody has to understand that it's bigger than the president, because locally we have to put the right people in place. So the last vote I saved every last one of the, they send you a bunch of ballots and postcards and stuff. I had a bunch of them. And at least I read, Nancy Gonzalez, Democrat, she's running for council person in Chatworth, and I had at least an informed idea of the person for the first time. I never looked at that. I'm guilty for going Democrat, 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 and not knowing what their platform is and how important the sheriff or the police chief and all of those people are to the matters in my one little community. Because if everybody controls their community collectively, it could branch out to the bigger part. But no one cares about the little, who do you want for your 13th district in, who's going to run your little area here, who's going to run there.
Council person?
Because we don't understand what that means and nobody cares. So guess what? They win year after year after year after year because no one's voting but the people that are benefiting from them. So for the, just saying, maybe the Asian market that's selling hair, they understand that they need to keep Lucy Wong in because she benefits them, but we're not understanding what that means and we don't care. Sometimes they don't even answer those questions. Who's voting for president? That's it. Who's running for that? The big ones. That's it. We're not looking at each bite. You got to look at it like a line item. That's how forensic we have to be moving forward. Each person, what does it mean? And, and I don't even know if cross parties could actually work, meaning I'm a Democrat, but the Democrat person is horrific. The one that is Republican might have better
I said they should do away with the parties anyway and make you focus on the person.
The platform.
Right?
What do you represent?
When you have to research the person and understand what their platform is about, right? But here's the challenge is that they intentionally keep us so damn busy, right? You're working 70 hours a week chasing enough money to be able to keep your lights on, right? They intentionally do this to keep you uninvolved, right? Yep. They don't even teach political science in school the way they used to, right? They don't want you to know how politics work. And we talk about, people understand, in my check they take out state taxes and take out federal taxes, right? Mm-hmm. People don't even connect the dots to go, the federal government is the larger governing body over all of the states, where the state governing government is the body of people who represent me in my state, right? Those state taxes go to fix your state. The federal is so you have an army and all the military and all of these larger federal services. So people have to get more involved. They have to learn. They have to be willing to go, I don't know. There's nothing worse to me than somebody that comes to an argument, right? And they're not willing to admit, I don't know. They take these hard stances and dig in on issues of things that they're not even educated about, right? Mm-hmm. When if we come to the table with open mind, I'm willing to go, look, I don't understand that. Like, help me better understand why you think that way. And I'll share with you why I think this way. And let's find a happy medium for the piece of nugget of information that's going to give value to both of us.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, what we should be focused on is just trying to create a universe and environment where all people can thrive. So to bring the conversation back to where we started, the Karens are just trying to dig in and preserve a way of life that benefits them.
Absolutely. They are so comfy.
They it's just about, and all people want to do that on a certain level, right? If the game was rigged,
but don't infringe on us.
Now listen, if you went, this mayor in Rhode Island said, Buddy Cianci, he's like, look, if you come to my gym and the refs work for me, you shouldn't expect to win, right? That's a mentality. That's an ideology, and it's an ideology that they've been born into, right? That they're not even smart enough to know why other people see things a different kind of way. All they know is that it's been benefiting me all of these years.
Right.
Why should I have to do anything different?
Right.
But they want the value of the legacy of their grandparents without us being able to attach ourselves to the pain and the legacy of our grandparents. And there is a space where it becomes problematic. Don't tell me that, oh, right, I wasn't a slave, or none of your grandparents didn't own slaves. No, that's not what the argument is. The reality is you're still benefiting from the fact that my grandparents were slaves and that your grandparents were the slave owners.
Right.
So,
a lot of work to be done.
A lot of work to be done is the point. But the point is, I think Karens have to own up to their part of the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're going to be in this together, they have to own up to their part and be willing to do the work. All right. So, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, another exciting conversation. Leave it in the comments if you have some thoughts. If you're a Karen, we want to hear from you, so you leave your thoughts in the comments as well. And
I wish a Karen would.
I wish a Karen would. But we'll see you guys on the next episode of After I Do.
Bye.
Yeah.